Pit bulls, XL bullies, Rottweilers, German Shepherds, Cane Corsos, none of these breeds can even stand a chance against the most aggressive breed in the world. The feared Chihuahua. Are they really as aggressive as people say they are? Well, yes, but not all of them, and not for the reasons that you might think. Stick around while we chat about it. Hello everyone, and welcome to Zoomies. Today we're uncovering the truth behind the Chihuahua's fierce reputation. Are they really the most aggressive dog breed out there? Or is it just a stigma against these little angels? I think the best place to start at is exactly what is meant by aggression. Well, aggression, according to the RSPCA, is the outward expression of an emotion that can be used to communicate various intentions by the dog. Rather than being simply an on and off switch that happens suddenly, aggression is part of a range of behaviors that dogs have available to them to deal with life's everyday challenges. Some factors that determine aggression are breed or the type of dog, the sex, male versus female, the size of the dog, the potential to cause harm, pain, fear, and whether or not the dog has been trained or not. But another major factor that determines aggression is owner responses and reinforcements. If an owner doesn't address aggression or allows it to occur over many times, those animals are more likely to be aggressive again in future. So now that we have a baseline, let's look at Chihuahuas. Although Chihuahuas are very small, they don't really allow that to hold them back in any way. According to a 2020 study, aggression was a personality trait that was reported in 4.2% of Chihuahuas, which is higher than other small dogs, but also lower than certain large breed muscular dogs. Even more surprising, Chihuahuas are listed among the top breeds of showing serious signs of aggression, including biting, attempted bites, often directed at strangers and even their own owners. But the trouble is that sounds bad when you look at it in isolation. Another study also compared behavioral aspects in different breeds and found that rough collies were more prone to aggressive tendencies because they commonly suffer from fearfulness. But miniature schnauzers, miniature poodles, German Shepherd dogs, and even Spanish water dogs were all dogs that scored higher on the prone to aggression chart. One major factor to mention is that these previous studies have also associated small size with fearfulness, and thus it seems that small dogs are more vulnerable to behavioral problems in general. It could be that owners handle small dogs differently than they do large breed dogs, which can partly explain this occurrence, such as the fact that owners of large dogs are more likely to take their dogs for things such as obedience training. So what does aggression actually look like? For Chihuahuas, this can range anything from snapping and growling to even lunging at people or other animals. If you want to watch a video on how to read a dog's tail wag, I made a whole video about it, go check it out. So now this expressed aggression is often not really seen as a threat because they're so small. A growling Rottweiler might seem very intimidating, but a growling Chihuahua? People often just laugh it off or make a mockery of the situation, but that is exactly part of the problem. The Kennel Club, the association that sets standards for breeds around the world, describes Chihuahuas as being bold, spirited, and intelligent. But this boldness can easily be misunderstood as aggression, and you're right, they do look like the same thing. Remember that aspect of size that we spoke about earlier? Well, maybe it's because of their size that they may feel the need to kind of defend themselves more so than maybe a large breed dog, especially when there's perceived threat, such as a stranger walking up to them and sticking their arm out, or a vet that's trying to poke them with something. So in other words, they're small, but they've got big personalities and they're not afraid to show it. A lot of people also refer to what's called small dog syndrome. This term refers to behavior or notions where small dogs like Chihuahuas act more dominant and aggressive to potentially make up for their lack of size. Now, whether this syndrome is actually true or false, the problem is that many owners unintentionally allow these behaviors to escalate, or they don't appropriately or adequately address them when they occur. Now, these early signs of aggression, such as, stiffening or growling and baring teeth, they might be ignored because the dog is small and isn't considered dangerous. Well, which it probably isn't. I'm not really shaking in my boots when a Chihuahua is standing there and growling at me. But what this does allow is that the behavior to build up over time, and without correction, even something as simple as picking a Chihuahua up might result in a trigger and for it to bite. I feel it's also important to consider that aggression in Chihuahuas, like with any breed, can be influenced by genetics and early socialization. Poor breeding practices can result in dogs that are more prone to aggression behavior. And this is why choosing a responsible breeder is so crucial. Dogs that are bred without consideration for their temperament are more likely to develop behavioral issues, including aggression. Do you want to hear a scary fact? In 2005, Chihuahua births were approximately 0.5% of the entire UK dog population. In 2016, almost 6%. That's a 1,100% increase in 10 years. The sex of Chihuahuas also plays a massive role. Males in particular tend to be more aggressive than females, which is actually quite common amongst most breeds because it's probably due to their high testosterone drive. But science has shown that early socialization, thus, exposing your little Chihuahua to different people, environments, and other dogs, can go a really long way in preventing aggressive tendencies. The earlier you start, the better. But just make sure that their vaccinations are up to date. Now let's backtrack a bit and look at those numbers. A 4.2% aggression rate is nothing to scoff at, and it does place Chihuahuas in the higher than other small breeds category. But does that mean that they're really the most aggressive breed? Not necessarily. While the data shows a tendency for aggressive behavior, it's important to note that human perception plays a huge role here. If a Chihuahua growls or snaps, it's less likely to actually be reported or taken seriously than a large breed dog that does the same thing. This can actually skew the data and makes Chihuahuas seem more or less aggressive than what they actually are. At the end of the day, a Chihuahua's behavior is shaped largely by its training, its socialization, and its environment, just like any other dog breed. The breed may have a tendency towards boldness and may need to protect themselves, but with the right approach, Chihuahuas can be incredibly loyal, loving, and yes, actually calm companions. I see so many Chihuahuas that come into my clinic that are absolute sweethearts, and you wouldn't even know if they have teeth or not. But yes, you also do get the hellspawn that looks like it's coming for your soul when it's coming at you. So, are Chihuahuas really the most aggressive breed? No. A lot of these studies leave out certain breeds that can also be reported and involved in aggressive behavior, just like your bully breeds and more uncommon breeds like the Shiba Inu. The data does suggest that they certainly have a higher chance of showing aggressive behavior compared to other small and large breed dogs. But with the right care, training, and socialization, these little warriors can be as sweet as any other breed. If you've had any experiences with Chihuahuas, good or bad, or you own one, let me know down in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And for more pet care tips insights, please follow us. Hit that like, follow, and follow us over on Instagram and TikTok for more cool and fun videos. Thanks for watching, and until next time, cheers.